So I'm basically a car camper, and I like stoves a lot, and so I have this Simple Theory Gear XL pack stove, and I happen to love it. Um, I got it so that I could use it as a multi-fuel stove. It's, one size, and I wanted to be able to not have to carry too many pieces with me because I do camp out of my SUV. And I need, as part of my travels and at home, I need to be able to cook on multiple fuel sources at different times. Part of the year in Arizona, we are under fire ban restrictions. And so during that time of the year, I need to be able to cook with a fuel that fits the regulations that the BLM offices have decided are legal. So during a fire ban, the last time I checked in Arizona, the only stoves with an open flame that were allowed, keep in mind this is the last time I checked, so if something has changed, I'm not aware of it. I was struggling with the ability to use editing that, aren't we? Okay. I was struggling to use pots that were larger and not the cup that came with the Sterno Inferno. So that was really challenging for me. So I have, over the course of the last couple of years, ordered a couple of different things to try. And so when the original Packlight stove came out, I tried that, and it worked well, but it was very small, and so the pans still had to be pretty small. And so this XL is a much nicer size, and you can see I'm able to use some other pots on this. So I'm using this mini enamel fry pan as a lid for the other fry pan because I don't own a lid for that one. And this other fry pan is a carbon steel that I restored recently. I will try to do either a blog post or a video on restoring a carbon steel pan, because lovely pans, and they're not cast iron, and in my life I would rather have the lightweight and whatever else. So for me that's a big nice thing to have. So let's see. So I'm working on cooking my breakfast. I've had more cups of coffee than I needed this morning, and I'm just in a mood. So I'm using butter flavored coconut oil and a can of inexpensive mushroom pieces. I don't know how much of this you can actually see, and some onion that I just sliced up in there. Yes, I would normally use a real mushrooms, but I don't have any today, and so I keep some things on hand. I'm saying real. They're real even if they're in a can. But sometimes I keep some extras just in case. And I think that I will use some of my dehydrated whole eggs and just do like some eggs and mushrooms this morning. It's later. I'm not even exactly sure what time it is, but it's later. And so a couple of good spoonfuls of this, because it's the mood I'm in. And yes, I have these cool mason jar resealable, washable bags. Some of you know I don't like to have too much plastic in my life, but I also needed some reusable items that could allow me to feel comfortable out here in my world, in my winter world at least. In my travel world, I should use it as travel world because... So I'm using the juice from the mushrooms to mix the eggs with. And I'm going to need a little more, and I already put some of the juice in the fry pan, so I'm going to use a little extra water. I don't mind. The consistency does not have to be perfect when you're kind of a country cook or whatever, an old-fashioned cook. You do things by feel. And I know that with water it may be a pain in the neck if you put too much in, but you can always lower the heat and reduce the liquid in it by just slowly cooking it out. And so to me it's no big deal if I have too much water. I just cook it out. And how am I going to show you this? Because I don't think, if I tip that pan, I actually have this boiling, and yes, it is boiling on a can of Sterno. And we're talking this kind of a can of Sterno from Walmart. They come in a 2-pack. They come in a 2-pack, but this is what I have. It says Sterno Green, and it is a 6.10 ounce can. This can's a little short inside the stove when I want to use this bigger fry pan. So I have taken the Simple Theory Gear tin that they sell as an accessory piece, and I turned it upside down so it's not as slippery, and put it in the bottom of the stove first, and then set that size can on top, and then light it and put the pot stand in its flattest position so I can take advantage of the most of the flame coming off the can of Sterno. Sterno works. A lot of people are like, oh, that stuff won't boil water. Well, yeah, it will. But you have to practice and know how to use it. I mean, that's the key to anything, is if it doesn't work the first time, wait a day or two and try it again. Wait until you're in a better mood, whatever. Ask somebody. But Sterno isn't around because it doesn't work. And you go to any buffet and they're using some kind of chafing fuel or something under the pots, and those pots will be piping hot and boiling. So all I'm doing is using that to my advantage, because I cannot use propane, and I use it, and I can cook outside, and if I'm super, super careful, I can actually boil enough water in a small, tiny pot. I use a Sierra mug when I want to do that. I don't see my Sierra mug right this minute, or it's in my hand, duh. This is a Sierra mug. I can boil enough water in this, it'll make 1 mug of coffee. If I'm super careful, I can do that inside with the doors closed and a window cracked open so there's air, and with a super amount of care because there's so many flammable things inside my car. But I want you to know that it is safe to use Sterno in a house, in an emergency situation, or not emergency situation. When I lived in Costa Rica one time, there was no stove in the house, and I was traveling with a backpack. I'm not buying a stove for these people's house. So I just chose to use a form of alcohol that I could get. And at that time, I made a cat can stove, And then I was traveling with someone else in that moment, and they as well made a couple. And we had a 3-burner stove with cat can stoves, which is a whole nother conversation and thing. And so I've poured the powdered eggs into my fry pan with my onions. And I'm watching it come up to temperature. And it's starting to cook. And is any of this fast? Depends on what you mean by fast. You know, it can be fast, but it's, you know, I don't care. I have all day to do this if I want to. I don't want to be doing it all day, so I won't. But I could keep the heat inside the pan by putting a lid on it. I don't happen to have lids right now for these, and I'm not sure that I want to carry an extra lid. But these 2 fry pans fit on top of each other perfectly. So you just turn the fry pan upside down and put a lid on it. They're both pieces of metal. There's nothing flammable, you know, there's no wooden handles on them that are flammable or anything. So I'm just using some common sense in this case for this little piece. And I'm starting to be hungry, so I'm rushing it a little bit. But I also know that the flame of a Sterno can is right in the center. So every once in a while I need to stir the center so it won't burn. And that's why this is going to be a scrambled egg thing. So I'm stirring the center and pushing it toward the outside and bringing the liquidy outside into the middle so it can cook. So it has its turn over the highest heat. And because I've got quite a, well, no, I'm going to wait a minute. You know, some of it's instinct, some of it's practice. I'm going to add the mushrooms. I want to have them heat up, but it will not hurt you to eat a mushroom straight out of a can. They've been pre-cooked. They've been sterilized. It won't hurt you. So I'm waiting a little bit for more to cook, and then when it's cooked more, I'll throw the mushrooms in and warm them up. But this is going to be breakfast. And I know I didn't put any spices or anything in it, but I don't know that I'm in the mood for that this morning. And plus I'd have to reach way over there in the car, and so I'd have to like stretch over the top of the camera and the tablet on the tablet. That wouldn't be a very pretty picture for you guys. And it's not that important to me. I just need to eat something because I'm starting to get headachy after 3 coffees, which is not my normal. And if you want to see, it's getting, some of you think you can't cook with Sterno, but you can cook with Sterno. I got no trouble with this stuff. Of course, people in the 60s used Sterno to cook with when they went camping anyways. And I tend to like slow living. And it's okay with me that it takes time. What else have I got to do? Make videos for you guys, right? Because I don't put enough videos out in the world. But, you know, my priorities aren't always about videos. So if I can bring you into my world a little bit, some of you have been really asking me to do more of that. So here we are, using the Simple Theory Gear Pack Stove XL with Sterno fuel and making dehydrated whole eggs with onions and mushrooms, and using a Sierra mug to mix in, which is also my bowl, although I don't mind eating out of the fry pan. That's part of how you become a minimalist. You find creative ways to do things, and it's not embarrassing to me to eat out of my cool antique fry pan. I love my cool antique fry pan that I worked so hard to find and clean, and I guess I should end the video because I don't like videos that are this long, and it looks like this is 13 minutes, and to me that's too long. So that's all I'm going to give you for now on this one, and I'll start practicing.